Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Electric Viking. Well, something is happening. Something very interesting here. Something that I believe is a marker of the future. A marker of that the future is here right now. Yep, right now. The Toyota Camry is one of the most popular sedans in the world. One of the most popular sedans in Australia. In fact, it's been number one sedan seller in Australia for as long as I can remember. However, last month, it was outsold by the Tesla Model 3, which costs, in base model form, nearly double. However, does it cost that much over its life cycle? No, in fact, it's actually cheaper to own a Model 3, including purchase price and running costs and servicing costs, over a 5-year period than it is to own a Toyota Camry. And obviously, a lot of buyers here in Australia are smart enough to realise that. Now, Tesla is selling as many Model 3s in Australia as Toyota is selling Camrys, according to The Driven's latest data, underlining how the shift to electric vehicles is starting to take hold, even in this backwater, ridiculous market of Australia where most people hate EVs and say they're never going to happen. It's ridiculous, some of the conversations that I've had with people. Anyway, as The Driven reported last Thursday, July was a significant month for electric vehicle sales in Australia, with 4 times as many EVs delivered compared to the same month a year earlier. 4 times as many compared to the same month last year. 4 times. Wow. Tesla unsurprisingly continues to lead the way in sales globally, as well as in Australia, as confirmed by the most up-to-date shipping data courtesy of @Vita Prime. Now, The Driven have combined this data with the latest sales figures from all the current automakers in Australia to compare how the Tesla Model 3 sales shape up against the best-selling vehicles in its main competitor categories. Small-medium vehicles priced under $60,000 and medium vehicles above $60,000. Now remember, these figures are Australian dollars. If you want to convert that to US dollars, $60,000 would be around about $43,000 US dollars. Now, these comparison cars include Toyota's best sellers, the Camry and the Corolla, and popular premium Mercedes-Benz C-Class and BMW 3 Series. While the Model 3 is often pitted against premium vehicles, which it should be, it's important to cast sales in the light of cheaper segment bestsellers, particularly as Australia finally starts to really get into the EV transition. Now, this will now be increased and encouraged and pushed along by $3,000 rebates in Victoria, even while it takes with the other hand in the form of a road user tax, and in New South Wales, where in New South Wales you not only get an incentive, but you also don't pay stamp duty. And there's various other incentives in other states. Now, the animated graph that you can see here is particularly relevant following the Driven story about the potential for the Model 3 to cost less over 5 years of ownership against the cheapest Toyota Camry hybrid that you can get. And I'll put a link in the description below to that article where you can see how the Driven actually compares the cost of ownership over a 5-year period of a Toyota Camry versus that of a Model 3. Now, this same thing has been done in the United States, by the way, guys. And in the United States, the same result happened. The Tesla Model 3 was cheaper to own over a 5-year period than a Toyota Camry. And let's not forget the fact that, if you can choose to own a Tesla Model 3 for 5 years and pay less, wouldn't you want to? A Toyota Camry is it's white goods on wheels. It's the most boring vehicle you can possibly buy. Whereas a Tesla is exciting. They're fast. They're technologically superior. They are kind of cool as well. Now, while resale values are by no means set in stone, neither are skyrocketing fuel costs compared with the not-so-secret power of electric vehicles charging for free at home off solar power. And many people are doing this, especially in Australia. Now, in Australia here, there's been enormous costs recently, enormous increase in the cost of petrol, increase in the cost of diesel as well, but a much bigger increase in the cost of petrol. So now you're looking at around about $2 per litre of petrol. About $2 per litre. Now, the reason I say $2 is if you buy a new car, most new cars don't operate on 91 RON fuel. They operate on premium fuel, so you have to pay premium fuel prices. And right now, that's around about $2 per litre. You're going to save a lot of money with an electric vehicle. The data shows that while the cheaper Corolla, the smaller hatchback, which in Australia is priced from around about $25,000, is still ahead of the Tesla Model 3 in price, of course, purchase price, which now starts at $60,000 or $59,990. Plus, of course, you can remove incentives from that, so you'll get one for around about $57,000 in many states here in Australia now. However, according to the data, it would appear as though the Tesla has officially overtaken the $31,000 base model Toyota Camry in terms of 5-year ownership costs. And it had already overtaken the BMW 3 Series and the Mercedes C-Class in January, and as of July has shipped 3 times that of each of these models. So you can see that there is almost no demand for Mercedes-Benz C-Class and BMW 3 Series here in Australia, even though those cars are very much highly valued by our customer base. Premium cars here in Australia are, for some reason, extremely popular. So you can see there's been an enormous change here. Tesla Model 3 is way more popular. You can see, 20 to 30 times more popular than the 3 Series and the Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Now, the Driven have said that they'll be updating this chart and adding more EV models, such as the Hyundai Ioniq 5, the Kia EV6, and the Polestar 2, which are all due to arrive by the end of 2021 and as the year progresses. Hopefully, they'll add also the MG ZS EV. The Driven, if you're watching this, guys, it'd be fantastic if you guys would also put in that vehicle. Also, it'd be awesome to see in there would be BYD's new vehicles, obviously the BYD T3, the BYD van, the 7-seater van, which has just come to Australia, and also the BYD EA1, which is going to be called the Dolphin, the BYD Extreme SUV. All these vehicles are going to come to Australia within the next 6 months. So if you update the chart with those, that would be unreal. Now, I've got to say a big thank you to the Driven for making a chart like this. It's quite hard to find this kind of information about electric cars in Australia because Tesla doesn't report on car sales here. So it needs to be a bit of research done to find this information. So the main point here, guys, is Australia is the absolute backwater for EV adoption. Well, was before 2021. But things have drastically changed here in this country in 2021. And that is in spite of the fact that we still don't have access to many, many EVs, which will be coming to our market soon. And we're going to see enormous changes from there on. I think the EV adoption globally is going to go even quicker than my insane, some of you guys probably think I'm crazy, the way I've forecasted an enormous adoption of EVs, but I think it's going to be even quicker than what I've said. And that is great news. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.